A group with Taeyeon and BoA, and it's flopping. Only 5 million views on the Stamp On It music video. Only 30k album sales on Hanto on the first day? The disrespect. You know this album is flopping because I haven't seen Drake hop on the song yet.
Oh my God, it's a now. I was really hoping that he will come through. Yeah.
So I'm super surprised and shocked that Got the Beats mini album Stamp On It is flopping because this group just has so much star power. It took members from its most popular girl groups and one of the most popular solo artists in BoA, yet they couldn't find success with this album. Personally, I was super excited for this album, so I was so shocked and offended and appalled that I decided to play K-pop detective and get to the bottom of this terrible K-pop crime. I scoured far and wide to find out the truth, which was just me going on the K-pop subreddit and TikToks, but it's the thought that counts, okay? So after my hard research, I think I found a few reasons that could explain why Stamp On It flopped. Also, just a disclaimer, I'm not a hater, okay? Please don't come for me. I love this group. I love all of them. I even ranked Step Back as like one of my top 10 songs of 2022. Speaking of which, you can check out my ranking on my channel. But yeah, that's all. Before I go into my detective work, I'm just going to quickly break down the numbers. So, like I said, Stamp On It only sold 34,000 on its first day on Hanto. And when I heard this number, I thought, oh, okay, that's pretty good. But then I took a look at what numbers the original groups did on their first day for their latest albums. I've put the numbers on the screen for you to take a look at as well. Okay, let's get into it. The first thing is the very weird release schedule and promotion surrounding the mini album and the lead single Stamp On It. I think me and a lot of other people found the release schedule to be really weird. First, they had the group perform Stamp On It before the music video came out for the very first time at SM Town Live, which is like their New Year concert. And I guess because they thought since Step Back performed better than expected and surpassed expectations that they could just release the song as a stage video, but I feel like it kind of killed the excitement and the anticipation for the song. Because by the time the music video and the album came out, people had already heard the song, and for whatever reason they didn't put it on Spotify at first. And for me personally, and I think for a lot of people, part of the excitement of a music video is also hearing the song for the first time. So some of the hype was gone for me on Stamp On It's music video personally. And honestly, I think a stage video would have been fine for a music video, kind of like how Step Back did a performance video, but the SM Town Live performance didn't really have the same polish as the Step Back video did. Also, the choreo in the stage video looked really weird. Like, there was a lack of energy, and some of the girls, I won't say any names, but they were kind of giving nothing. Probably because they performed beforehand, so it was understandable, but it's not really the best way to debut a lead single. I think instead of performing Stamp On It at SM Town Live, they probably could have just done another song, and I think that would have been fine. Also, it might have been too long between the Step Back and the mini album release, because I think when Step Back was released, people were really excited for the group, but now it's been a year, and just like the weird way this album was released probably just killed all the excitement, to be honest. So another reason that I think could explain Stamp On It not doing so well is that certain fans might only be interested in certain members of the group. So personally, I'm a fan of all of these idols and the groups that they come from. So when I heard this group was happening, I was like, oh my god, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Everybody be happy. Happy.
But these idols and the groups that they come from span decades. But don't get me wrong, they're iconic in their own ways. Like, BoA is literally like the mother of K-pop, and she literally carried SM on her back when she was like 13. When I was 13,
I have my first love.
But she most likely got the majority of her fans during the 2000s. And then on the other hand, there's Aespa. Like, Aespa could have composed for Elise, but could Beethoven have written? No, but compared to BoA fans, their fans are probably younger, so I could totally see some people being fans of certain Got the Beat members rather than the whole group. But this doesn't completely explain the reason for Stamp On It flopping, because Step Back did well and that had the same situation too. And this sort of leads me into my third reason. So I did some digging and found out about a boycott.
Interesting.
So, according to my exclusive sources, which is just Reddit, some fans have boycotted this album because they're upset, furious, besmirched, hoodwinked, because they believe this album has hurt the original groups. So apparently Red Velvet fans are upset with the lack of promo for their latest album called Birthday, and Aespa fans are apparently annoyed because they haven't had their comeback yet. I'm not sure how widespread this boycott is because I went on the Aespa subreddit and their fans seemed excited for this comeback, so I don't know. But I'm going to choose to believe in this boycott because I love chaos. But honestly, I do think it's more because of the timing of Stamp on It. It's pretty close to the comebacks of the original groups. Like Red Velvet just released Birthday last month, Aespa's gonna have their comeback soon, and Girls' Generation just had their 15th anniversary comeback. So fans have probably already spent their money on those comebacks that have happened, or they'd rather save for the upcoming ones for the groups that they actually stand rather than Got the Beat. I actually think it would have been better if they released this album around the time of Step Back, because I think it would have been a few months ahead of Red Velvet's Feel My Rhythm and way ahead of Aespa's Girls and Girls' Generation's Forever One. Or maybe the reason behind one of the most tragic flops of K-pop is simple. Maybe it's just because the group's target audience of Aespa, Red Velvet, Girls' Generation, and BoA fans just don't really like the music Got the Beat makes. I mean, their music is pretty polarizing and unique, and it's very different from the music the original groups make. Maybe it's as simple as that. Okay, so my detective work was inconclusive. Honestly, it's probably a mix of all these reasons. And I think it's too bad because I really like Stamp on It and the B-sides. If you didn't like Step Back or Stamp on It though, you probably won't like the album, but I think it's good. But also, I like Sticker by NCT and everyone hates that song, so maybe don't trust my music opinions.